The Battle of the Atlantic was a significant naval campaign in World War II. It took place between the Axis powers, mainly Germany, and the Allied powers, led by the United States, Great Britain, and Canada. The primary goal of the battle was to protect the Atlantic Ocean and guarantee the safe transportation of important resources, soldiers, and equipment from North America to Europe. This was particularly important in order to assist Great Britain and the Soviet Union. As previously stated, German U-boats, also known as submarines, were a major danger to Allied ships in the Atlantic. During the beginning of the war, U-boats were very effective at finding and sinking cargo ships belonging to the Allies. This caused a lot of damage and loss of important supplies and resources. The U-boats worked together in wolf packs, which were organized groups of submarines that could overpower convoys without escorts. In order to combat the U-boat danger, the Allies started arranging and carrying out convoy systems. These systems involved gathering merchant ships together and safeguarding them with naval warships and aircraft. This strategy was successful in reducing the losses of Allied ships. The ships of the Allies were able to sail together, which made it more difficult for U-boats to attack them one by one. The Allies also made advancements in their technologies and tactics for fighting against submarines. Sonar and radar were very important in finding and following U-boats, which helped Allied ships to react better. The aircraft convoy escorts, called Allied air patrols, were important in finding and attacking U-boats before they could launch torpedoes. The United States played a crucial part in the Battle of the Atlantic by increasing its shipbuilding abilities. The building of Liberty ships, which were cargo vessels made for mass production, greatly boosted the quantity of cargo ships accessible for the Allied convoys. The ships were constructed rapidly and effectively, playing a crucial part in providing supplies for the war in Europe. The Allies started to gain an advantage in the Battle of the Atlantic around mid-1943. The threat from German U-boats was reduced due to the use of convoy systems, better ASW technologies, and increased ship production. The victory in the Battle of the Atlantic was crucial for keeping supplies and reinforcements flowing to Europe, which helped the Allied war effort succeed in the end. The United States, Great Britain, and Canada worked together during the Battle of the Atlantic, which made the Allied alliance stronger and set the stage for more collaboration in the later stages of the war. The defense of the Atlantic Ocean played a crucial role in the Allied victory during World War II. The war in Europe took a significant turn during the Battle of Stalingrad in February 1943. The Soviet Union's triumph in Stalingrad not only stopped Hitler's progress into their territory, but also signaled the start of the downfall for Nazi Germany. Following this crucial battle, the Soviet forces proceeded to advance towards the west, recapturing territories that had been occupied by the Axis powers. The Allies carried out Operation Torch in November 1942 in North Africa. Under the leadership of General Dwight D. Eisenhower, military troops from the United States and the United Kingdom successfully carried out a landing operation in Morocco and Algeria. The objective was to eliminate German and Italian influence in North Africa and establish a new front against Axis forces. During the campaign, General Erwin Rommel, also known as the Desert Fox, led the German troops, but they were defeated. Eventually, the Axis forces in North Africa surrendered. Following their triumph in North Africa, the Allies shifted their focus towards Italy. They invaded Sicily and successfully captured the island in July 1943. As a result, Italian Prime Minister Benito Mussolini was ousted from power and subsequently apprehended by the Italian king. Nevertheless, Hitler's troops swiftly advanced into Italy, initiating a challenging and prolonged endeavor to free the nation from Axis domination. The Allied forces, which included racially segregated units made up of African Americans, Mexican Americans, and Japanese Americans, fought with great courage in this campaign and were acknowledged for their bravery. By the end of 1943, the Allies had won important battles on different fronts in Europe and North Africa. These achievements improved morale and showed the determination and resilience of the Allied forces. As the war went on, the Allies got stronger and moved deeper into Europe. Finally, in 1945, they won against Nazi Germany. The United States, the Soviet Union, Great Britain, and other Allied nations worked together to ensure the victory of the Allies in World War II. The invasion of D-Day on June 6, 1944, was a crucial moment in World War II. The mission was carefully planned and included a large group of Allied soldiers from the United States, Great Britain, Canada, and other nations. The objective was to free Western Europe from German control and establish a base for the upcoming push towards Germany. The Allied forces carried out coordinated amphibious landings on the beaches of Normandy, France on D-Day. The beaches were assigned code names: Utah, Omaha, Gold, Juno, and Sword. The Allied forces encountered strong opposition from the Germans during the landings, leading to many casualties. However, they were able to establish a base and gradually increase their control over the beaches. Following the initial beach landings, more Allied troops and equipment were swiftly brought to the shore. The forces led by General Omar Bradley made important advances, which resulted in a gap being created in the German defenses. General George Patton's Third Army took advantage of this opening and, together with other Allied forces, ultimately freed Paris in August 1944. After the D-Day invasion, the Allies kept moving forward in Europe and freed other countries from German control. By September 1944, they had entered German territory. President Franklin D. Roosevelt was re-elected for a fourth term in the U.S. presidential election, showing that the American people still supported the war effort. In December 1944, the Allies were taken by surprise when the Germans launched a counterattack called the Battle of the Bulge. At first, the German forces advanced considerably, causing a bulge in the lines of the Allied forces. Nevertheless, the Allies displayed unwavering resolve and formidable might, ultimately forcing the Germans to retreat. The Battle of the Bulge exhausted the resources of the German army, resulting in their weakened condition. The wins in Normandy and the successful defense against the German counterattack in the Battle of the Bulge showed how strong and determined the Allied forces were. These triumphs cleared the path for more progress into Germany and ultimately resulted in the downfall of Nazi Germany in May 1945. The bravery and selflessness of the Allied soldiers were vital in bringing an end to the war in Europe and defeating the Axis forces.